What a great honor to start off our Fixed Ops Roundtable with a gentleman who was the very first best practice winner back at the early Beverly Hills event. And I want to welcome my good friend, the Fixed Ops Director for the Nilo Group, Tully Williams. Tully, welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
God, that is so awesome. I tell you, is it going to be an exciting 3 days? Holy mackerel. You have built this thing to be incredible. I am so honored to be on this again. And wow, letting me come up first up. Ted, you are just on fire.
Tully, how could we not bring you up first? Because you bring the fire, okay? You have set the standard, the new bar for fixed ops directors, and you keep continually raising the bar. Now, I got to tell you, and this event is no exception. There are speakers every day of the roundtable who refer to the hours and Tully Williams and how important the hours are. So, Tully, you have taught the industry that it is about the hours. And I thought it important this morning that our audience hear from you again, those who have not heard the message about the hours, and that you take it even another step further for those who may be familiar with it, but we need to get back to the basics, Tully.
Well, I'm telling you, it's all about the hours. I've been preaching it all. You know who told me that? Randy Brinkman is the one that got me stuck on this hours years and years and years ago, and I can't thank him enough. But you know what? Let's make it easy, right?
Let's make it easy. So, Tully Williams, Keynote, the show is yours.
Well, thank you so much, Ted. I am so excited to talk about fixed ops today, and I want to bring up three huge pillars of fixed ops that I use at the Nilo company that I think can help you at your store. You know what? Let's keep it simple and easy, and let's see how we mark them. But here's it all about. Sell your hours. It's all about the hours at your store. Are you selling it every day? Hold your margin. Let's talk about a simple way to look at that, because who's in charge of margins? And then, of course, if we're doing a great job, we want to grow year over year. So the funnest part of all, the first pillar, it's all about the hours. I talk about it every day I can, is because what does that mean? Do you sell dollars? Do you sell what? You sell the technician's time every day. Every service advisor, every parts person, everybody in Fix together needs to help sell your capacity of time. And knowing your daily and your monthly hours capacity, to me, is the most important aspect of this. As you see behind me, I have TVs blaring away. Those are there to design to tell everybody at my store where there are today. As the Nilo company has 10 rooftops, we are pushing this data out to all of our fixed ops departments. It's in the service manager, it's in the parts office, it's in the shops. We're telling everybody where there are every day. So let's start. The most crucial piece of this whole thing is building that forecast. And it starts with the hours per day. I believe a technician doesn't want to work for 8 hours a day. I believe a technician wants to work for 9 or 10 hours a day. So let's start with a 9 or 10 hour per day per tech. Let's make lube techs half. Why do I say that? Because, a lube tech has to run back and forth, do those minor services, and it doesn't pay well. Plus, we want technicians to drive, those hourlies to drive, repeat and referral business, doing those great inspections and great maintenances, because that's what we're all about. And we want a pathway for all of our lube techs to grow into great flat rate technicians. So we want to keep those at half. So where does it start? It starts with the schedule of all of your technicians. And here we go. It's so simple. You count the W's. So here we go. Here's a great example of a sheet that I'll be more than happy to offer to all of you, is that you go in and you put in the holidays, you put in the working time, you put in training, because here's the deal. We want them to train. We want this to be an honest, because if we're going to pay people off this schedule, if we're going to pay people off this forecast, we must be accurate. And this forecast changes throughout the month. Example would be, is that we set it up today and a class comes up that we must send our technician to, which we want to do. We would change that W to a T for training and change the forecast mid-month. This is a necessity. If a technician calls in sick, let's make sure we then change that forecast to off. It has to be honest. Now, the great part is we're building this forecast, and now we come up with the total hours that we have for our great world-class service advisors to sell. So now, building that forecast, here we go. The technician, we have 1,075 hours to sell. And I broke it down by each technician because we want to show them how they're doing throughout the month and how they're doing for our service advisors to see. Here is the basis. So, one thing I like to talk about when you're looking at a store is, how did you do last month, Ted? And I say, great. How many? And most what people say is, I did $4 million, $4 trillion. I say, I sold 122% of my hours forecast. That's how we should talk about each month. All right, here we go. 1,075. Now, let's build this writer schedule, because we now need to turn all of those hours into a saleable amount for each service advisor every day. Ready? Here we go. Boom. We make the same schedule, and we now know that those two service advisors must sell 26.2 hours per day. Now, here is something we talk about is, how many technicians should I have per service advisor? Here's what I say. If you're at 10 hours per day, it is 30 hours if I had 3 to 1. Some people say it's 5 to 1. Can you sell 50 hours a day every day? I say no. I say 30 is a great job. That's the reason I like to use 3 to 1. So we have the time to spend with each customer. So now we have built the writer schedule. We have the hours day amount. Now here comes the fun part. We're now going to show them how they're doing. I ask, it's not about the forecast. It's not about the dollars, right? So now let's keep it right. If we have a plan in place, how do we keep it focused? We must have pay plans that work together. I always use the best one on top, parts and service. How many parts and service departments fight every day? And that is something we cannot have. How do we keep managers' pay plan and the service writer pay plan the same? How do we keep techs versus everyone else? Having pay plans structured around your hours forecast is a must. We want our parts counter people, which is so much, their necessity is incredible for us to achieve and selling all of our available hours every day. So we want to make sure those pay plans are focused. So we're working together. The parts counter will jump over the top of the counter and I'll give that part to that tech. Let's get it out today so we can have a green day. So here we go. Let's talk about it. Service advisors, right? Here we go. Boom. This is the first one here is for our foremans and team leads. Are they on the hours forecast? Yes, they are. And as they achieve those forecast numbers, they get that bonus. Do we want a CSI equation? Absolutely. Next is our service advisors. Same issue on an individual plan is, did we sell those capacity? Then that determines the percent of gross I pay on what they write. So now the foremans and team leads and the service advisors are focused on the exact same thing. Sell the hours and get paid. Next is counter people. This to me is one of the most important pieces. Always parts counters are paid on gross. I have never seen a back counter person determine how much gross goes on the repair order. But I do know that a back counter person can make a shop great and can also hurt a shop. So let's do this. Let's talk about how do we help counter people get in the piece of pie and get excited along with us all and help drive those hours forecasts. Why? Because the faster they get quotes, the faster we can get parts and not wait till the part will be in 3 or 4 days. I'll go get that part today so we can get that hour closed out. This happens every day. And I'm telling you, when I hear about it, I tear up. Can you believe a parts counter guy says, holy mackerel, I'll go get the part. I'll go get the part. That's what we want to do. So now the parts person is on the time to get the part to the technician to help sell that hour and get it closed. And last but not least, our managers. And I say fixed ops managers. I didn't say parts and service. I said fixed ops managers. Parts and service managers should be paid exactly the same. Now, if you want to have a less percentage for parts, I'm okay with it. But here's the deal. They want to work together. They're on the same page. We pay on the total fixed ops gross based on our hours forecast. Now I have all the departments together, foremen and team leads. I have service advisors. I have the parts personnel, and I have the managers, all based off of that hours forecast. It gets so exciting. So here we go. The second pillar, hold your margin. I say, who controls margins at your store? The service writers have little bits. We always want to blame the service manager. You know who controls most of it? Service managers have the biggest effect on margin. So let's figure out a way to help us watch this number. Let's make it fun and chase a KPI that we would love to chase. Here we go. Who controls it? Management. Writers' discounts. Yes, it does affect it, but it's a small amount. We want to discount only through the discount program and not use that change sale amount. As you know, with rentals and with CDK, there's a change sale amount. We want to stop and turn that off. And here's the best part of that. The service writers will be 100% okay with it. What else holds your margin? Technicians. They're expensive. God bless America. Let's pay them. Let's hold our margin and stop discounting so we can keep that margin up. So let's how we do this. Here we go. Let's make it fun. First, break out your CP labor gross into 3 categories. I feel there's 3 categories in customer pay. First, repair, the most important. Full margin. We are not practicing on automobiles. We are factory trained and training our technicians every day to make sure we do that great job. Why should we discount when we have it? Now, we want to make sure that we're competitive, but we don't want to discount. Next, maintenance. This should be the most important because you know what? Maintenance is driving repeat and referral business, which is the business that we're truly in. And we want to make sure that we are priced right. So I don't want to take away margin away from repair. Oh, you have to go for that effective labor rate. Baloney. Let's look at all 3 and hold margin on repair, but maintenance, we're going to be competitive. That's brakes, that's services, that's oil changes, that's anything that involves that. So we have the margin separated. So we're chasing the right thing. And last but least, competitive. As my good friend David Boyle talks about tires, I am all in on tires. But is there margin in tires? Hell no, there's no margin in tires. But if we're truly in the repeat and referral business, tires is what keeps the customer in that service drive. So now we have the breakout of all 3 categories. Let's take a look at it. What do we do next? List out your op codes. Now, some of us think op codes are fun, and they have thousands and thousands of those. But ask yourself, how many op codes do you really need? Because we want to set up the op codes to be repair, competitive, and maintenance. We want to separate those out. Next, set up your discounts for all those 3 categories. We want them to discount. If I make a mistake on a repair order, I want to put it as a discount and show the customer, Mr. Customer, I screwed up your estimate. I'm going to give you a discount. Would the customer be thankful? Absolutely. But a lot of times what we do is we change the sale amount just to make it come out right, which I don't understand why. Why do we want to do that? We want to make sure. So setting up the discounts for all three of those categories. Stop using the change sale amount. Please, please, please run your RO detail and look at your ELR per line on those repairs. Because here's what we want to chase, ladies and gentlemen. It is the $0 club. And when I mean $0 club, it is fun because what we're comparing is this: your door rate against your effective labor rate repair. Because I'm taking out all of the discounts, then there should be a virgin rate of $0 against the thing. Make it a contest. As we're doing here this month, we're going to have a contest about, are you in the $0 club? That means all of the repair goes in. We're not changing the sale amount. And if we are going to discount, it will go through the discounting program to show it. Because here's what we got to talk about every day. Who is in the $0 club? Make it a big deal. I want your general manager to go out there and say, congratulations, Service Advisor 1, you sold your capacity of hours and you are in the $0 club. Show them, show your writers, how can they make more money for them and their families by not always discounting a special repair. Now, our third pillar is this: year-over-year growth. Because why? We are always in one business, which is repeat and referral. And if we are not going year over year, we are losing that number. Because you know what the real number is, really? It's all about retention. And retention is the hardest number to manage. I am very blessed that my good friends at X-Time give me a retention number for all of my brands that is always done the same. So we have a real number. It's a little delayed, but we can really monitor and push those retention and CSIs. Because you know what? What does CSI really stand for? It stands for this, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls: customer supplies income at your store. Because without customers, we have absolutely nothing. Here we go. All fixed pay plans must have that CSI in place. One day, I hope that we can go to retention number. But last but not least, is your store culture customer focused? When I mean this, everybody says, oh yeah, we are. But if some customer is having a problem, would a porter, would a detailer, would a service writer or service manager or general manager run out there and say, whoa, 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 let's make it right for you? This is being customer focused. It starts with your dealer. Our dealer is invaluable about making sure we're customer centric. We are customer focused at our store. As we've been in business for 100 years, it's not because we have bad CSI. Are you truly a believer? If you're not a believer, don't be fake. You must believe you're in the repeat referral business. You must believe customers every day. And when your driveway is backed out to the driveway, don't get cocky. Don't get cocky at all, because we do. We want to make sure we're staying focused, and every customer is a lifesaver. So here we go. The third pillar is retention and CSI. I push the retention number, which is usually delayed a month or two as a store. But when you really are CSI centric, we're talking about pushing it out for all technicians. Fix it right the first time. We're pushing it out for all service advisors, and we're pushing it out for the store itself. These are on the televisions. These are being pushed out to all of our public every day. So here's the exciting part, ladies and gentlemen. We talk about the things to watch, the percent of hours, your forecast. This is a must. Are you talking about this every day? When you look at margin, let's make it easy and simple. Be in the $0 club. Make sure we're showing the right amount. Make sure we're holding that and using the discount. And finally, because we're in the repeat and referral business, are you watching your retention and CSI number? Simple ways to help you make it. Again, if you have any questions, please call me. I cannot thank you enough for being this great honor. Ted, wow, how exciting it is to be up first for the next Fixed Ops Roundtable. Woo!
Tully, what an incredible way to start this whole conference, this day, with you. Tully, I took a whole lot of notes. Now, by the way, while it's up there, so our audience can reach out to you, right? With your advice, your help, because you're a great mentor to our audience. And your contact information is up here. I got my Tully button on. I see as you do as well. I don't know. Are you a football fan, Tully?
A little bit. Yes, I am.
A couple weeks ago, we had the Super Bowl. And prior to that, we had some great playoff games. It was an amazing stretch of games we went through. And I just figured it out, Tully. And I mean this with all due respect in a very good way. You, Tully Williams, you are the John Madden of fixed ops directors, because in the way that you lay it out, simple, and boom, you tell us what's happening, what to look for, how to measure it, who to hold accountable. Tully, I can't thank you enough.
Wow, that's an honor. John Madden to fix. I'll take that every day of the week. Ted Ings, I just want to say thank you so much. We needed you so bad, and you are bringing the limelight to fixed ops, and you're making it fashionable. You're making it sexy. I tell you, all of us here cannot thank you enough for all you're doing for us. I truly thank you so much.
And it's obviously mutual, Tully. And I also want to thank that fella I met 15 or 16 years ago over at John Anderson's Courtesy Chevrolet, because I don't know what you did with him, but this Tully Williams is certainly dynamic, energetic, and you are the star of the show. Our keynote speaker, everybody. And Tully, we're going to see you later in the show, from what I understand. You're coming up, I think, on a couple panels, so I look forward to that as well.
Thank you so much, Ted.
Tully Williams, the Fixed Ops Director, our keynote speaker this morning here today at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.